All right. So what do we got here today? Oh, this is the chicken and egg. What else should we get here? Oh, look at this. Roast beef pastrami. Shrimp cutlet. Kiwi, strawberry, pineapple. Egg salad. This one's toasted. Now, typically in Japan, you have bentos and other sorts of foods, but today we're going to be focusing on sandwiches. Whoa! They actually have eggs as well. Look at that. Half-boiled eggs, onsen eggs. Maybe for next time. All right, let's try these sandwiches here. All right. So we've got some sandwiches here. The total for all those sandwiches was about $16, which is kind of a lot for lunch. Or is it? Everything that I don't eat, I'm going to be taking back to Kanai, who is working back at home. 7-Eleven has some of the best sandwiches, they say, in Japan. Again, can you compare the sandwiches here in Japan with the sandwiches at American convenience stores? I'm not really sure, because we have some pretty good sandwiches in the United States. There's some differences here. So in this episode, I thought I would try some of these sandwiches, show you the typical sandwiches at a Japanese convenience store, at least at 7-Eleven, and then talk about my own experiences being American and having worked in a restaurant. I know that the sandwiches are pretty good there. But what is the difference, and what makes Japanese sandwiches so incredible? Because they kind of are. So let's go find a seat over here. So I rode my bicycle over to a neighborhood called Tsukishima, which is one of my favorite places to go. Hanging out here is kind of fun, but there's some benches over here where we can have lunch. And this is actually quite heavy. This is what we would call a haul from 7-Eleven. And I don't know, like some of these sandwiches are seasonal. All right, there's a bench over there. Let's go have a seat. Probably the most famous Japanese sandwich of them all is either the kiwi, the fruit sandwich, or the egg salad sandwich. But when it comes to sandwiches in Japan, there's so many amazing traits, famous traits, that you would only get in Japan. I'm pretty excited about this. Hey, Craig Kawaguchi, thank you. Somebody's hungry. Let's set up the tripod stand here. This is actually my lunch, too. Hey, Susan. Yes, this is a LL Bean Keep Warm shirt. All right, just getting the tripod on here. Oh, I don't know why it doesn't stick in there. All right, here we are. Boom. Welcome to lunch in Tokyo. How you doing? I got a pole that actually extends up so we're more at eye level, but it's not working today. All right, for our drink, I got a typical ocha. This is Itoen, which is a Shizuoka prefecture tea. And I guess it's a Guinness Book of World Record holder and maybe the best tea in the world. Not sure. You know, Guinness will give you anybody a world record as long as you just pay them, I think. Seems like everybody has a... Now, this is a really interesting thing here. When I got the sandwiches, the lady at the register, one of them said, "Atatame ka? Would you like me to heat up your sandwich?" And it was this one. So I think we should eat this one first. This is very, very interesting. Check this out here. This is the omelet, ham, and tomato sandwich. I don't know what makes this only in Japan, except for the fact that it's in Japan here. Check it out. Let's open this up. It says, "Atatamete oishii." If it's more delicious if it's warm. And it says a little chicken egg on there on the front. This is about $3.50 for this thing here. Made by 7-Eleven, 7 and I, which is the name of the group that owns 7-Eleven here in Japan and the United States, because Japan, 7-Eleven Japan owns the 7-Eleven in the United States now, which, oh my gosh, that's a lot of calories. So it tells you here for 1 minute at 500 watts or 20 seconds at 1500 watts. So it heats up pretty quick. That's kind of not, I'm gonna have, this is like a 5,000 calorie lunch. Yeah, yachty, that's some hardcore calorie action going on there. Ooh, that is special. Look at it's a double decker. And you see there's a sauce in there, there's vegetables and ham, and then there's some egg omelet, which is, I guess it'd be tamagoyaki, which is very famous in Japan, in between there. And let's see how this tastes here. The other one is the same, so I can save that one for kanai. Save that one for kanai. Here we go. They've toasted the bread, and I think they've added in some butter or something on there to give it a little bit more flavor, but there's a good combination. And trust me, 7-Eleven is thinking about this, finding combinations that feel good in the mouth. The soft egg with the slight tension of the ham in there, with the vegetables, and then the sauce. And then there's some tomato sauce, maybe like ketchup, just a light ketchup underneath the egg there. It's not overpowering. I like this, but the bread is a little bit too bready. And the thing with Japanese sandwiches is the front where they sell it is so thick. The back is usually all bread. You see that? So it's a fail there. But what makes Japanese sandwiches better is the size too. If you get an American sandwich, or on the East Coast we would call them hoagies. Just depends on the sandwich. They're usually too big and you get one sandwich. That's pretty much it, just based on volume. What you get is what you get. In Japan, the sandwiches are so much smaller. You can get one as a snack, or you can buy 3 or 4 of them and really make a meal out of it. And then you get a kind of a variety of different types of toppings in there. That's what makes it kind of fun. It's almost like a sandwich party, like, because you can get more than one. They call them subs up in Jersey. And New Jersey calls them hoagies. So when Subway came in, they started calling them sub sandwiches a little bit. But growing up, they were hoagies. In Ohio, they were subs. Different regions of the U.S. call it a different thing. Pretty cool. And hero sandwiches, right? In Japan, they don't have hoagies, and they have Subway, but sub sandwiches are not too popular here. These sandwiches are. Next up. Oh, konnichiwa. 昼ご飯食べてるよ。there's like kids here. They're looking at me. This is an egg salad sandwich. And everybody knows that the egg here, you can see them there. Hello. They're like staring me down, these kids that just got off of school here. they were playing, stopped and looked at me and just froze like a deer in headlights. So this is a funwari kompe. Kompe being the type of bread. I guess it's a French word. A soft tamago sarada egg salad sandwich. And Japanese egg salad it's unique. It's so fluffy light, you know? Whoa. This is the Japanese sandwich. I don't know. I wish they toasted the bread or it was whole wheat or something. But this is funwari, which means just kind of like a really airy bread. And then you see the egg salad. It's just kind of fluffy, whipped egg salad stuff. It is pretty good here. Let's crack this open. Oh, look at that. Yeah, there you go. This is the egg salad that I know. Pieces of the egg white in there mixed in. I guess there's some mayonnaise, a little bit of butter in there. Everybody who comes to Japan falls in love with 7-Eleven's egg salad sandwiches. They're that good. And Tony P's writing in, they're the best. I mean, I can agree with that. They're right up there. They're going to be the top 5 in anybody's sandwich rankings for sure. Japanese mayonnaise in there. But the thing is, the bread. American sandwiches are probably better with the bread. You got Kaiser rolls. You got, like torpedo rolls. You got rolls with sesame on there. It's just the bread has a lot of tension in the U.S. There's some heaviness to it, but the outside of it typically is a little bit crunchier. Japanese like soft breads, white breads. They're like a blank canvas. And I'm not a big fan of that, but I guess it sort of goes with the lightness of the sandwich. Really good. Spike 021, daily breakfast at Japan 7-Eleven, tamago sando and pancake sandwich with butter syrup inside. I think a lot of people, when you come into Japan, restaurants aren't open in the morning. Convenience stores are pretty much the only place where you can go and get food if you're staying at a hotel in like Shinjuku. You can either eat at your hotel, which is usually quite pricey, or just go to a convenience store and load up on sandwiches and other goodies. You are always satisfied with Japanese egg salad. All right. Next up on the list here is this one. Wow. This is the chicken and egg with teriyaki sauce. And I think a lot of you are going to like this one here. Now, it has the same type of egg salad as before, but it's a little bit different. When mixed in with chicken and the sauce, it's a totally different experience, right? Air to the Ron writes in here, victory for the sandwiches. Yes, thank you, Air to the Ron. And we have a new member, Adam. Adam, welcome, new traveler. Chia Vale. Really appreciate that. All right, let's open this up here. Well, we're going to try this chicken and egg from 7-Eleven. Now, all these sandwiches, they have almost pretty much the same way to open it. Just peel it, and then the plastic opens up, and you can pull it from the back here. Make sure you alcohol your hands like I did when I entered the convenience store. But once again, you can see pretty weak in the back. Right, WX Turbo. Thank you, you're in the house. This one's got some meat in the end. That's interesting. I never see it in the back, but 7-Eleven sandwiches usually not much there. Let's pull this one out. Oh, very beautiful looking. Again, you see that egg salad that's so popular. A little bit of the congealed, soft-boiled egg in there. Japanese eggs, they have that. I don't know, they don't boil the eggs all the way. You leave a little bit of the jelliness to it, which is a better texture than a boiled egg. You know, it's too hard. When it's soft like this, it's very creamy. And they put it in there with this chicken, soft chicken with a sauce on there. Let's take a look at the sauce, just for science purposes here. Yeah, it's kind of a sauce. I'll describe it as I taste it there. Wow. And I like the fact they put in one piece of lettuce, just I guess to keep the bread from soaking it all up. This is a good one, you know. This one is what's the price say on here? $2.50 for this sandwich here. Mmm. Oh yeah. That teriyaki sauce. I mean, with the other one, this sandwich here, this one is just full on egg salad with a very soft bread. It does go good, go well together. But this one with the teriyaki sauce and the egg salad is just a completely different complexity. And that little teeny piece of lettuce does a huge amount of crunch. It just adds that tension between it. So when you bite into it, there's a tension between this and that egg salad. This is a good sandwich. Mmm. Teriyaki sauce is so good. Let's see if we can get to 500 likes. This one here is shrimp cutlet with sauce sandwich. Korawari ebi katsu. Now, ebi means shrimp, and a cutlet is when it's been deep fried, battered and deep fried, turns it into a cutlet. And cutlets are so popular here in Japan. The katsu. There's tonkatsu, which is breaded pork cutlet. You can get chicken katsu. You can get beef katsu, gyukatsu. Anything can be battered, breaded, and deep fried. But this one here is so good. The shrimp has such a soft, very tender, springy feeling in your mouth. And when you put it into a katsu compared to pork cutlets and beef cutlets, the shrimp cutlet is easily going to be one of your favorites, I think. Yeah. Hey, Dark Zaku's here. I love 7-Eleven when I was there. Wish we had the same type of convenience stores in the States. You do, 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is in America. Are you telling me they don't have these kinds of sandwiches in America? I mean, granted, I have not been in the U.S. very much since 7-Eleven Japan took over, but I would think that 7-Eleven Japan's foods would start to, I don't know, compete a little bit better. No, they don't. Jennifer French writes in here, no, they don't. Interesting. Well, until then, you can enjoy one of these sandwiches. Here it is. Wow, this one has some volume to it. You can really feel the weight difference between this and the egg salad sandwich. They whip it up, the egg salad, so well. It's so light, but that's what Japanese like. They don't like the heaviness in the stomach. Now, katsu being boiled in oil and all that, it does add a heaviness to it, but usually it's not as much, meaning this sandwich feels, the shape of it is a little bit smaller than the other sandwiches. I don't know why. It just looks smaller than the one before. Oh, that was because it was a double-decker. But you can see the shrimp has been, when you cut it, it looks really, really pretty, doesn't it? And the physical looks of the sandwich is very important. Mmm. All right. On this side, there's some sauce. So there's a tangy sauce that they use with katsu. It's kind of a sweet and salty tang to it. And when I say sweet, not like a candy sweet. There's just a slight sweetness to it. But I don't know, is it the Worcestershire sauce that kind of gives it a little bit of a tinge that goes so well. It's such a compliment because it hits a different area of your tongue in your mouth. But the tension, the way when you take a bite of a shrimp katsu sandwich, there's just a really pleasant tension in each bite. Mmm. It's almost fun. It's almost fun. I mean, it's kind of gross to look at a half-eaten sandwich, but just to give you, an idea. it's fun to eat shrimp katsu, shrimp katsu cutlet sandwiches like this. That's why I always get these. It's hit and miss. There's some places that are not as good. 7-Eleven does a pretty good job of it. But in general, you want to get these sandwiches made when it's been deep fried right away. And there's restaurants that will serve these, and it comes right out of the fryer. Do you know why? Because if you get a tonkatsu out of the fryer quick, it's crunchy and still warm. There's a juiciness to it that is indescribable that you cannot get out of the sandwich as is. You really need it to come right out of the deep fryer and get that crunchiness. And after it's been sitting for a while, it just gets a little bit too moist. But I'm not complaining. It's just a difference. Next up. Wow. I have tried this before, but they've taken I thought it was roast beef, and it is. But it's roast Angus beef because Wagyu would be just too oily. So Angus beef, it does pretty good when it's roasted. Wasabi and soy sauce. I've never seen this before. I just picked it up. They've added in wasabi and soy sauce. So this is going to be pretty interesting. You can see through the package. They really did stack it up with a lot of meat, but we're going to find out in a second if the meat is in the front only and in the back is pretty weak. I'm sure they weigh the meat. It's got to be. Oh, Michael Sassano's here. Get a winter beer. Slightly early, but I will. Tomorrow, I'm getting onto the Shinkansen and going up north to Hokkaido. So, to Keisanuma, not Hokkaido. That's up in Tohoku. Yeah, Spike021. I hear you, man. This could be breakfast, and I would be happy with this breakfast, lunch, or dinner. This is Angus beef. Angus is they have it in the U.S. as well. It doesn't have the same marbling or fat content as Japanese Wagyu, but oh yeah, see, look. All right, they put, whoever makes it puts one little piece and sneaks it up there in the bag, so at least you have some meat in that bite. You used to be where they didn't have that piece of meat there, so you just get, it's like an air ball, right? It would be like just a bite of white bread, but I'm glad that they've kind of added to it. King Wong likes the prawn katsu. Oh, that sounds really good. Yeah, that one in Kimuraya, in Kimurapan in Ginza is really, really good. All right, let's try this out here. Look at that, it's a tower. Everyone's watching me, all the kids go by. A lot of kids, if you ask kids these days, what do you want to be when you grow up? They say, YouTuber. I'm proud. I'm proud that I have a job that kids want to do, you know? All right, let's give this a try. They say wasabi soy sauce taste. We'll see. You can see that there's some sort of sauce in there. And the mayonnaise does have some wasabi in there, but just a little bit. Excellent beef. It's not dry. My first thought was that the beef is going to be a little bit dry, but it's not. It's moist. That's good. The white bread is white bread, so that doesn't change. I guess the reason why white bread seems to be preferred is because it doesn't take away from the flavors of the ingredients inside. And I'm guessing this is when the researchers who came up with all of these answers and why they do make the bread the way they do. This is basically a tasteless. It's a pleasant but tasteless bread that just doesn't take away from the ingredients inside. Good thing, bad thing, I don't know. But when judging a sandwich, the last bite is important, and I'm glad that they snuck in a piece of beef on the back end of it. That's I'm sure that they listened to complaints from customers and came up with an answer. Mm. Like a soy sauce gel sauce with wasabi. Just a touch of wasabi. That was pleasant. All right, I got one more. I got one more. Oh man, really? Really? And this is just destiny. I didn't plan this out. Brandania writes in here, I haven't been to 7-Eleven in a long time. I'm now inspired and curious to see what kinds of foods that they have introduced. Tomorrow is Scope Out 7-Eleven Day. Should be. I think when 7-Eleven Japan, or the 7 Group in Japan, started to buy out the American counterparts, I did see a little bit last time I was in the U.S. The 7-Elevens in the U.S. kind of like raised their games a little bit. I think because they started to use different technologies and to change the menu and integrate. And it's important that that in order for the convenience stores that were in the past, in the 1970s and 80s and even in the 90s, to continue to thrive, because even supermarkets and others, fast food restaurants, are competing with convenience stores. We have to think differently about convenience stores in order for them to survive. They have to offer more services. In Japan, a convenience store offers, I pay my bills, gas bill, electric bill. I used to pay my telephone bill when I had a landline at the convenience store. They send you a form, they scan it, and then you pay them. The convenience store takes a small cut, and it was very convenient to pay my bills instead of sending in a check or something. I'd be able to do it just at the convenience store, and I was done with it. Convenience stores offered services in Japan and changed daily life. The way we live our lives, we depend on convenience stores more than in any other country, I think, here in Japan. I get my tickets for airlines, can pick them up at the convenience stores, you know? So I think that 7-Eleven Japan is going to change that in the U.S. because they want to make money. This is dessert. I'm surprised a little bit that they didn't have just a full-on strawberry and cream sandwich, but this is a pineapple, strawberry, and kiwi sandwich. Hey, Jennifer French, you know what? I'm going to extend the live stream a little bit and see if we can get a coffee at a vending machine. How about that? Although that 7-Eleven has really good coffee. All the convenience stores started making really good coffee. The kiwi fruit's here. You can see it in the front. Kiwi is sort of expensive in Japan. One kiwi fruit is like $1. But we will see how much kiwi fruit is in this thing as we open her up. It's pleasing, you know? I think when the can makers for Coca-Cola started to make that tab, they put some thought into the sound that it makes, and every time you hear it, you get a kind of a pleasant happiness from that. And I'm sure that they put the same thought into making these sandwiches here. All right, in the butt end, as we open her up from behind here, no fruit. That was to be expected. It's all up here in the first third of the sandwich. Does look good. It's 1 strawberry and 1/4 of a kiwi, and looks like 2 pieces of pineapple, 1 here and 1 here, with some cream in there. Let's see if I was right. I can't see it. Yeah, it looks like it. Again, white bread means blank canvas. So you can eat sweet foods with it, as well as like salty and meaty and savory and foods with it. So you can only do this with white bread. So as a business decision, 7-Eleven can just make a lot of the same bread and use that as the base, just like rice would be for a rice bowl. White rice could go good with a lot of different things. It's very versatile. This one is only 233 calories. So it's 100 calories, 115 calories for one. That's really good. Japanese sandwiches are seasonal, which means I think you know what seasonal means. Basically, 4 seasons in Japan. In India, we have 2 seasons, rainy and dry. So it's different down there when I say seasonal. But here in Japan, maybe there's 3 seasons in India, actually. But we have 4 seasons, winter, spring, summer, and fall. And fruit sandwiches, I pretty much only see in the winter. But I started to notice more mango sandwiches and summer fruits popping into the sandwiches here. Banana sandwiches to give you some potassium and some energy in the summer as well. I've seen those starting to pop up, banana cream. But the fruit sandwiches, I don't know how popular they are. I think that the ladies like them, and the men usually don't go for the fruit sandwiches so much. They go for the meaty stuff. New York pastrami was a meat sandwich that was seasonal, that was here in the fall only, and they've kind of phased it out. Now it's back to this beef with wasabi. Wasabi in there. Yeah, Dark Zaku writes in here, I went on a study abroad in college in 2014 in Taiwan. The Family Mart there changed my life so differently from the U.S. You could buy and do anything from that location as compared to the U.S. Basically, life in Japan, you kind of are very reliant. Not reliant, but you can become reliant on the convenience store to get just about anything done. Again, copy machines. Sometimes I still got to do faxes. You can do faxes there, pick up tickets, pay my bills there. They have fresh vegetables. They've changed the way they do it. When I first came to Japan, coffee was only available in the vending machines or at like McDonald's or at a kisaten, which is kisaten, was that? Like old coffee shops. It was just hard to get a good cup of coffee in Japan. Canned coffee was probably all that you had to do. All you had. Starbucks just came in, and when I first came to Japan, Starbucks had one shop. All right, there wasn't a lot of coffee shops or chains. I think Dotoru might have been starting to grow, but since 2007 or 8, about 10 years, a little bit over 10 years now, coffee from Japan has become about 7-8 years actually. You've been able to get pretty good coffee at convenience stores, meaning they have grinders, and you come out and you can get a fresh drip coffee. But before that, you could only get canned coffee or a can that's been sitting in a heater for like days, like a roller hot dog coffee, because it's in a can. It's not bad, but there's chemicals in it, and you can taste that it doesn't taste as good as a fresh drip coffee. But the taste of Japan has changed, where more younger people are starting to drink coffee instead of green tea, which is, I think, not a good thing, because I'm sure it's going to have health consequences later on in life. Whereas Japanese, the older generation drinks a lot of green tea. They live a little bit longer. I don't know about the next generation. Again, like I've said this before, you have so many other foods that they didn't have back in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and 80s that are not as healthy for you. More beef, less fish, stuff like this. The Japanese diet has changed, as reflected in the sandwiches, right? There's no fish in these sandwiches. It's all chicken, beef, pork, there's shrimp, deep fried shrimp. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. We do have moderators in the chat. We do. Let's see here. We should. We do. Any questions? You did make it to the live stream. What are the effects of coffee in the long term? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I can't give you that data, but I can tell you one thing. I am addicted to coffee in a way where if I stop it, I will get a headache after 2-3 days, and that can't be good. So I'm trying to limit my coffee, but it's hard. I've got a lot of sandwiches left over, which is a snack for a little bit later on. We're gonna go over. I think the mods might be busy with this. If we can get up to 600 likes, I'm gonna take you over. Thanks to Jennifer French, get a coffee from a vending machine now to kind of put a ribbon on this episode. But if you have some questions, I would be really appreciative because it's kind of interesting to hear your feedback on Japanese sandwiches. Japan has top varieties of sandwiches of the whole world. That's hard. That's a hard statement. New York sandwiches are pretty darn good. Pastrami sandwich in New York. I think, I don't know, just different countries have different sandwiches, you know. Sandwiches in the UK were kind of boring, but they weren't bad. I don't know. It's hard, just different. Different cultures have different ways that they want to prepare it. US likes to put a lot of stuff in there. More jalapenos I've seen recently. Different kinds of sauces, honey mustard, ranch, things like this. Yeah. The breads that they used just recently, these are good feedback here. Recently, it's not whole wheat bread. Just be careful. They've been putting like brown sugar into the bread, or a different things that change the color of the bread, which makes it look healthier, but it's actually not whole wheat bread. So in order to make sure you check on the back and the label to make sure it's not just like a brown sugar bread where they just change the color of the sugar, because it does make you think it's healthier if it's brown bread, but that's not always the case, okay? They are using different kinds of breads, and I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago they started to use tortillas. But if you compare them to like Wawa, which is my favorite convenience store in the US, they're so much smaller and 3 times the price of one of these sandwiches that I ate. Wrap sandwiches are very, very niche, and usually they're either sold out or they're not. Maybe the selection is 1 or 2 of them. They do have hot pocket type sandwiches as well that you can microwave, but I've been seeing them less and less. It's these sandwiches that you see here seem to be the staple of convenience store food. Yeah, I also miss Wawa. There's meatball subs, and the way you can order from a touchscreen and customize your sandwich is probably the best convenience store in the world for sandwiches. Wawa versus 7-Eleven. I think Wawa would beat 7-Eleven hands down. 7-Eleven Japan might be a little bit closer. If you're a decaf drinker, you're going to find it hard to find decaf in Japan. People drink the coffee for the caffeine. I'll be honest with you. A little bit for the taste, probably for the caffeine. Yeah. Spam, Glenn, do you mean like in the comments or actual spam? Spam is still pretty popular in Japan, especially in Okinawa cuisine. So, anything else? All right, let's go over to the vending machine here. I didn't even try this green tea, so I'm gonna have the sandwiches weren't dry, so I didn't have any problems with it at all. Let me get my bag here. By the way, I'm putting these in the mailbox here. So I got 3 postcards. This month's postcard is going out to Brenda in Illinois, Richard in Idaho, and John in Brisbane. These are going out to you guys today. Thanks for supporting. And we have here the end of the year stamps. You see that? Next year is the year of the cow. And Wagyu beef is going to be on the menu a lot more this year. But that's the year of the cow this year. So you're getting a year of the cow stamp with Reiwa 3 on the stamp. You can see up there. I like to pick this. The stamps are important to me, so that I make sure that you get good ones. Shane's waiting for his stamp. The stamp or the postcard? Hope you're waiting for the postcard there. All right, we'll go drop these in. Hey there, we got a guest. Some weeks Peter's on the show. Other weeks, you know, pigeons. All right, let's go find a vending machine here. Get my mask on. Oh, it's inside the sandwich bag. Oh, I got egg salad on my mask. Oh, it's nasty. It smells like egg salad. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. All right, where's our vending machine around here? Oh, okay, there's one around the corner. Seems like our moderators are quite busy with a different kind of a sandwich. Spam sandwich. Hey, Shawan writes in here, your videos have made quarantine much more bearable. Oh, they took away they built a new house here. Like, I don't live around here. Things change, but this used to be a old an old like little convenience store for like from the 1950s, and it's gone, and they built a new apartment building. What? That was a vending machine. All right, we got to go a little bit further. I do like this area. If you take a look over there, you see some old houses from the 1950s, some Nagaya, maybe even before then. But most of Tokyo has been, again, like here's a building with the old copper plating. This one's from the 1930s, after the Great Kanto earthquake in the 1920s. New houses that went up because of the fires started to copper plate them, and you can see that the copper plating turns a little bit green. I think there's some alloy in there. But we're starting to see these buildings disappear as well. The older ones. All right, Jennifer French, I'm always so appreciative of the help. I know that there's a vending machine right around the corner here. We'll see if we can get a hot coffee. There's a vending machine like every 100 meters, you know? Except when there isn't. I think there's one in the front. Oh, look at that high-class doggy. He's got a sweater on. Oh, look at this. This is the Emerald Mountain. That looks interesting. But it's cold. These are heated. This one has been in the Georgia Coca-Cola machines forever, the Emerald Mountain blend. It's the classic, that color. All right, around the side I saw another one. Yes! This is the one that's full on sweetened. And then there's the royal milk tea, which is so good too. Yes! Do it! I haven't had this in 20 years, maybe. These were never sold in the Max Coffee. Historically, these weren't sold in Tokyo. These were only up in the Tohoku area because they had a Max Shinkansen, right? This double-decker Shinkansen. So Max Coffee I found these up in Ibaraki when I was living up in Mito, and used to drink these up in Utsunomiya and Tochigi too, but I never found these in Tokyo. They're super sweet and they're bigger than normal cans. They're nice and warm, so on cold days I put these in my pocket to keep me warm. It is hot. This is a hot one. And behind me there's a old mom and pop beer shop. I don't know how much longer it'll be in business because the one just down the street is gone. Businesses are dropping like crazy here in Tokyo, and it's kind of heartbreaking for me to see that. Here we go. That is so sweet. This is why I haven't had this in some 20 years. Wow. If you like sweetened coffee, like dessert coffee, this is what this is. It's, how many calories is this? Do I want to know? It's about 480 calories. So, oh no. It's 480 calories. It's cream, sugar, and I think a little bit of coffee, but it's all hot. It's all hot. Wow. 480 calories. What? All right, I'm gonna put that to the side there. Thank you, Jennifer. That was sweet of you. It's a bad joke. Oh, this is a very famous, when you ever ride the Oedo line, there's a commercial for this. Takasago is a very famous meat restaurant, like a butcher shop. So they probably have some pretty good sandwiches here if they had it. Let's just take a quick look-see. Whoa, look at those eggs. They've been sitting in meat juices. Pretty cool. They do have bentos, but no sandwiches there. Oh no, they do have a sandwich. Oh, they do have a sandwich. It's a beef katsu sandwich. Let's take a quick look. Wait, hold on a second. There's a cluster. They sell here Yamagata beef. I can smell the meat here. Oh, that's a menchi katsu sandwich. It's like a hamburger, deep fried hamburger. Wow. That would have to be one of the best sandwiches. This is a very famous meat shop in Tokyo, actually, in this area. Tsukishima Station would be the closest. I parked my bike near the 7-Eleven, so I got to go back over there. But I hope that this sandwich episode gives you a little bit of insight. My conclusions. Are Japanese sandwiches better? I don't know. I think every culture has a different way to do sandwiches. Japan has their own way, which is to use white bread, just a basic white bread, because they put more emphasis on the toppings inside. Where I think in the United States that bread pretty much is an important element to the sandwich in itself. So there might be more thought going into the bread of a sandwich in the United States. Not a lot of thought is put into the bread here. It's more about the fillings, the vegetables, and the texture, and the way when you bite into the sandwich, what kind of flavors are coming together, and how does the tension of those ingredients. They're thinking about that on every single bite. So all of these sandwiches that I tried had a different feeling in my mouth and hit a different part of my tongue or my senses, and that was totally planned by 7-Eleven. There's no doubt that they had researchers going in. How do we make each bite pleasant and different and unique so people want to keep coming in and try different sandwiches? I know that they're thinking about that. That's why they have so many different kinds of sandwiches. That's why Japanese sandwiches are so good. They really, really take it to another level, especially that egg salad sandwich, which is so, so delicious. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hey, hello, hi's here. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to be tomorrow on the Shinkansen going up to Tohoku, taking you to Keisanuma and interviewing somebody who survived the tsunami and earthquake up there and hear his account. So you're not going to want to miss that. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you get ready. I'll put a time in Patreon and Instagram and a schedule so you won't miss that. But get ready tomorrow. I got 2 live streams from Keisanuma, which is a place that definitely needs us to shine a light on it. Chicago African, I will totally get a bento for tomorrow's live stream, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it on the Shinkansen because it's a Japan Rail sponsored, not sponsored, but they're helping me out with this video. Thanks, everybody. Nagoya John's here. Komeda and Aichi is better than Starbucks. I believe that. Komeda is everywhere now in Tokyo, too. They're starting to take over. Marty Dittmer. Thank you, Marty. I'm going to be taking home these half-eaten sandwiches. Marty, I'll find some. Maybe I'll take home this menchi katsu sandwich, okay? I won't take these half-eaten sandwiches back, okay? I'll find something better. Thank you, Marty. And thank you, everybody else. See you in the next live stream tomorrow. Bye from Tokyo.